Benedicte Paviot joins me now from London. Benedicte, tell us more about Boris Johnson's speech and what's in this so-called New Deal.
Well, this so-called, as you say, New Deal is one where Boris Johnson is comparing himself to the US President Franklin D. Roosevelt. And you remember that post-depression program. But, I mean, £5 billion, which amounts, when we get our calculators out, to about £100 per person, is already, it has to be said, criticised as insufficient. Also, there are some accusations, we can come back, that this is a re-announcement of some of the things that have already been announced previously. But it is a big unveiling by the Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, in the Midlands, where he very much wants to reset the country, reset the whole of the UK, and launch an economic plan. So whether it's 75,000 trees being planted a year, and even if the historical comparison with Franklin D. Roosevelt doesn't work, he really wants concrete measures of looking at the links, for example, between the various nations, whether it's with Scotland and on roads and trains, Wales, Northern Ireland. And he very much denied that it was a speeded up version of the promises he'd made in the autumn as part of his election pledges. Remember that election that the Conservative Party and the Prime Minister won very comfortably. Of course, there is that huge economic challenge of COVID-19. And so his motto is build, build, build. He wants more homes, easier planning permissions. He compares the virus to a shark circling around us, but just because you've got a shark on your tail, you've just got to get on with it and save yourself. And he wants the United Kingdom to be a science superpower. He says that he would like it to have a major long-haul passenger plane that would be the world's first zero emissions. So very ambitious.
And what's the reaction been, Benedicte?
Well, as I said and hinted to, both in some of the Q&A questions from journalists, wondering how much of this is new, like the 20,000 police officer pledge. Certainly the opposition party, Labour Party, is not impressed, nor is its leader, Sir Keir Starmer. He says it's not a new deal. And it's mostly not new money, and that the Prime Minister needs to rethink this. The Confederation of British Industry also says that the Prime Minister is not focusing enough on saving jobs. Of course, that's the very big problem coming down the track as the United Kingdom is going to ease the lockdown on that big 4th of July Saturday date looming, certainly in England, with the opening of pubs, of restaurants, of hairdressers. And this all comes as new figures show that the economy, the UK economy, shrank. It shrank faster than at any time since 1979 between January and March of this year. So the plan might be ambitious, but really the devil will be in the detail. And it's not about announcing plans. It's about enacting them. So we'll see how this plays out.
Thanks for the update from London, Benedicte.